Hello and welcome back to the Battle Room. I'm, of course, the Battle Room. And today I'm joined by no one except for these amazing, glorious teams from the Gdańsk Regional. So today we're going to take a look at the top cut teams from both the Gdańsk Regional and the Brisbane Regional. And we'll check out what's going on in the meta and what we can learn here. So right off the bat, let's start with Flavio's team. Flavio obviously is an amazing player, and I would say he's pretty well known for Rain. He really likes playing Rain. That's just kind of where he is comfortable. I think this might actually even be, like, he might have been one of the first people to even use this team. So it makes sense to see him use it here and do extremely, incredibly well. It just gives you a lot of tools, right? You got Incin, you got Goldie, you got Rage Powder. You instantly have like a really solid core, but then you flip it on its head and then you have to deal with Ursaluna, Pelipper, and Basculegion. We're all annoying as fuck, right? Like, dealing with these guys is such a pain, especially when these guys can set up on you freely if you mess up or bring the wrong Pokemon, right? And I think also, obviously, Incin and Amoonguss, they pair extremely well with the Rain guys as well. I think always having a Fire type on Rain feels good. As crazy as that seems, it's been this way since, like, literally since I started playing in 2011, 2012. Like, in 2012, I remember specifically having a Fire move on a Rain team just felt amazing. So, it hasn't changed in the year 2025, and I don't think it will, for whatever reason. Having that coverage just really helps. But yeah, nothing too crazy here. We see Terra Ground, Pelipper, we see no Wide Guard, it's Tailwind instead, which is normal. Otherwise, yeah, nothing too nuts. We saw, who was it? Someone got second. I'm totally blanking. Torby got second at the first region of the year with the same 6 Pokemon, but instead opted for like Terra Flying Gold and some like weird niche choices. But this is like kind of the more standard normal version, outside of maybe like a Terra Ghost Pelipper or Terra Stellar. But ground works too. It's still good, right? It stops those electric moves. It makes you immune so you can keep that sash intact. It lets you have a mind game, which I think is good. Otherwise, yeah, pretty boring, pretty normal team. That is just his bread and butter. And speaking of bread and butter, we have Marco Fierro with his Sun team. He's back at it. He won the last regional, and he's like, fuck it, we're running it back, which I think is super fair. I think Sun felt like it was in a pretty decent position. The wheel was turning for Sun to become the GOAT again, and no surprise here, we're going to see Marco lock that shit directly in. The only big change here is going to be this Encore Jumpluff. Otherwise, I think everything else is the exact same. This used to be Rage Powder, is now Encore. Obviously, this team, I've talked about it a ton, but if you live under a rock, we'll break it down for you a little quickly here. Basically, it's like kind of the same concept as the last team, but instead of a setup mode, you have a hard Trick Room mode, right? Like, even with Torkoal, like, this is just hard Trick Room. You're doing a lot of damage, you're fucking people up. What's really cool too is you have Parting Shot and a Jetpack, like overheat to get Ursaluna in. So setting up Trick Room and then just sweeping with Ursaluna is really easy. But then also you have this amazing Tailwind mode. Ursaluna is very fast, and so you can pair it with both Jumpluff and then Charizard, and you can just spam Heat Wave, Earthquake until the game's over. Very good, very potent, strong team. And it has a lot of good Pokemon. You got Incin, you got P2. There's not a lot of P2 teams out there outside of the Kilowattrel version, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, I think this team is really strong, really solid. It's 3 fire types, and it just works. It's got a Charizard in the year 2025, and it's still working. But yeah, I think it's really strong. I think sometimes you need to hit a Sleep Powder or two, but that's just the nature of the team. Yeah, I think it's really solid. I think it was a really good call for him to go back, because I do feel like we don't see any of the team that he did used to win. So I think switching back worked out for him. Obviously, he probably could have went a little deeper, but either way, I think it's still a solid call from Marco to switch teams here. And next up, we've got Davide's team. Yeah, you guys know this one too. Well, okay, there's some interesting text on this one, I guess, or one interesting tech. But this is just one of the most solid teams in the format right now. In my opinion, it's just the 6 best Pokemon all in one team with some fun and unique sets, right? Like this Acrobatic Sneasel, obviously it's not really fun anymore, but it was at the time. And then we also have, on this team, it has Clear Amulet Incineroar, which is pretty wild. It's pretty wild. Clear Amulet Incineroar did well on this hard Trick Room team, piloted by Brian Collins, but to see it on balance is pretty nuts. But I think it's kind of neat, right? Because you're able to not be intimidated by other Incineroars, making your gold matchup, I mean, just in general, your gold, Incin, all that shit, way better. They have to respect you a lot more, because I feel like Instin's hardest counter is himself. So not being able to stop the damage and intimidate Incineroar, I think clearing that's a big deal, and I think it makes a lot of sense. Like, when I would play against Brian Collins' team, I naturally felt the need to lead Incineroar, because I'm like, oh, Instant Farigiraf, I want to lead my own Incineroar. But it just doesn't work. They have close combat, and even then, like, it can just harass my partner with damage, because I can no longer intimidate it. So I think clear amulet is actually really sick, and I think it's a cool tech. I'm not, obviously it worked out pretty well. I'm not as like used to this team to see if like losing the safety goggles is the end of the world. But I mean, Among Us has been dying down. You still have Rilla, you still have Fake Out, you still have Yawn, you have Cold too. So there's ways around it. You have super effective damage with Flare Blitz and Blizzard. But yeah, nice, cool little take. Otherwise, this team is just so broken. You have 2 setup Pokemon, you have the Fake Out guys, you have Ninetales. It's just a really, really obnoxious team to deal with. Alright, next up we have Salvatore here with a Dondozo Pelipper team. I've actually had the honor to play him at both Worlds and EUIC, and he's just a Dozo main through and through. This was a team that did really, really well at the last regional with Jay, and I think it's pretty solid, obviously running Bright Powder instead. But yeah, the idea here is simple. You can beat up your Ursaluna, you can beat up your Annihilate. Weavile is very, very fast, outspeeds stuff like Sneasler. Just a very obnoxious Pokemon. So I think it makes a lot of sense. I think it's pretty good on this team. And yeah, I just think like this 6 is kind of a neat Dozo team. It's cool. Cool might not be the right word, but it's interesting to see that it's still popping up and that another player was able to pilot this team to great success. Like, obviously, when it did well the first time, you're like, okay, makes sense, it's Dozo. But to see it pop up again, you're like, damn, maybe this team is actually just like really consistent and actually pretty solid. I think it does have cool options, right? Like, Weavile can be paired with either of these, but also Pelipper can be paired with these guys as well. Pelipper, Weavile is pretty good. It's just a lot of damage. You're extremely fast. So, I think it makes sense. Knockoff's valuable as well. Just big damage, triple axle. And then you also still have the Dozo mode, which is just good. There's not too much to say. That one's pretty simple. Next up here, we got Robert. Robert using Hard Trick Room. I haven't seen this one in a while. So the way this works with Exeggutor is so brutal. Because you lead Exeggutor Torkoal, you threaten a ton of damage with Expanding Force, right? Because you can switch Torkoal to Indeedee. They can't stop you. But you can also, like because Torkoal's so slow, you're guaranteed to get your terrain. So if you want the Expanding Force, you can take it. And you have a Sash as well, so it's really obnoxious. Or you can just start pressing Sleep Powder, right? Which is brutal in its own right. And so this lead is just diabolical. But then you also have the normal hard TR stuff. You can just bring in Ursaluna and start headlong rushing. No EQ is pretty crazy. And then they opted to change. This was his Zoroark prior, but they decided to run King Gambit instead, just so they could like have another sweeper and Trick Room. I think this team is obnoxious to deal with. Evil stuff, right? Evil stuff. Clear Smog to help with Dozo. I don't know if you need that. You got Sacred Sword, but whatever. There's a lot of setup. But yeah, Exeggutor is just a mind game demon to deal with, and so it makes sense. We haven't seen this team succeed a lot recently, but it's back. It did well. Next up here, we've got Simone with I think we saw this last weekend as well. So the idea here is you have Ninetales and Maushold, so you're able to threaten beat ups, or you can just start off with Aurora Veil Bulk Up, then bring in the beat up for the Nuclear Bomb. Oh, but you also compare that with obviously anything, right? You compare it with Ursaluna, Blood Moon, Rillaboom. It's like a weird version of the Zine team with Dragonite, but Dragonite's now Ninetales, a little bit more supportive, also really good into the enemy Dragonites. I think it's a pretty solid like adjustment of the team. I think it is pretty good. I think it's annoying to deal with. I think Ninetales is valuable. It helps with rain as well, which I think can be valuable. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I think this team is pretty solid. Gholdengo is just broken too, so having Fake Out, Follow Me, Royal Icy Wind, like, it's just good. It's just a good fucking team. Next up here is Matteo. Once again, using the same team we talked about earlier, with a few slight differences like Clear Smog here, also Terra Psychic to help with the Science Band matchup, I guess. It's also just like a decent defensive Terra type, right? Like, helps against psychic moves. Instant, normal, yeah. But yeah, again, this is just like a really good setup team with these guys, and then a really offensive ring team. Basculegion just makes the offense just unbearably strong, and I think that just having him on there is just such a big threat and something you have to respect. Because at any point you can just lead Basculegion and Pelipper and just go in. That was Matteo. Oh, Matteo was top 8. Okay. Now we're into top 8. Now we have this crazy... I was really shocked to see this team. I am a Blaziken hater at my core. I think Blaziken is a shitmon. I think he's so bad. But we see here that I was wrong. Like, when I saw this team, I think it won a VR tournament. And I was like, okay, it like looks solid, right? Like, it's a neat Blaziken team. But is it gonna win a regional? Is it gonna top cut a regional? I thought no. But clearly I was wrong. Blaziken popped off here. I'll accept that I was wrong. I think he's like cool in a way, right? Like, I think fast coaching is cool. The speed boost is cool. Like, he's got cool tools. I just don't think it ever pays off. But clearly it did here, right? Like, you still have this fake out, follow me, Swords Dance score that you have with King Gambit. And then you have Blaziken that can also coach, so usually that's like a Sneasler. And then running the back Excalibur Primarina, I think Primarina is positioned pretty well. I like the moveset choice here as well. Dazzling Moonblast, Hyper Voice, no Haze, no way to beat Dozo, do not care. But yeah, I think it is a really cool set. Obviously sacrificing the Dozo matchup a little bit, but if you dodge it, you're okay. I think that's a respectable thing to do. It's a little risky. I personally don't know if I could ever do it. I did play like 2 Dozos at Milwaukee, so like I'm always like, damn, I always do want to be prepared because I just want to have the tools, right? I don't want it to be an auto loss where I can't do anything. But yeah, in this case, they probably couldn't, but it doesn't matter. They didn't play it, and they played, or if they did, they made it still to cut. You can lose one. So if you play Dozo, you just beat everything else, right? But yeah, they did incredibly well with the Blaziken team. I think King Gambit is just a little bit disrespected. They popped off with it. Yeah, I mean, this team is pretty simple, right? Like, you set up coaching on your physical guys here or here, and then you just kind of deal damage, whether it's with Pax and Electabuzz or just King Gambit and his setup brothers. It's just pretty solid. And then I think Primarina, again, is pretty well positioned, gives you really good defensive typing. You got Firewater Grass and Dragon Fairy Steel. It feels good. It looks good on a team. Next up here is Lewis Markle. I feel like Lewis did really well at the last tournament too, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, he's back. He's using the standard version of the Lele team, the most boring strong boat team in the format. This is the bread and butter version, no clearing the Incineroar, opting for that safety goggles instead. It just gives you endless tools. I couldn't play this team to save my life, but it's won 2 regionals so far. It's gotten, I think it's won a GC, maybe gotten second at worst, right? It's doing really well consistently. This is just an amazing team to pick in this format. Just incredible team. And no surprise to see it here once again, especially with Lewis Markle. He's been performing really well. I feel like this is the type of team that he would succeed with. And it makes sense. He did really well here, getting top 8 once again. And then we have Fede Campo at 5th here. Federico decided to run the same team as Marco. He did really well. Ultimately losing to a team we'll talk about next. But I feel like the team, again, was like a pretty solid call for this tournament. I think Sun was in a really good spot. Maybe he still is in a really good spot. Yeah, and I think Fed is an incredible player. He's like the best. I always just think of him as the best Ursaluna player in the world. And no surprise here to see him get 5th once again with his signature Ursaluna. He just is different with the Pokemon. For whatever reason, he knows how to push it to its limits. He knows how to get the most out of it. And he's just an incredible Ursaluna player. So mad respect to him. And him and Marco running this team together and doing really well. Okay, next up, we got Mikael, who used a Magmar King Gambit team. So instead of Electabuzz, we got Magmar this time. So we have 2 of those Follow Me King Gambit teams in cut. Pretty interesting to see. When they were virtually not really seen in Milwaukee. I don't think King Gambit had a really good performance there at all. So this team is pretty cool. You have Fake Out, Follow Me to help set up King Gambit. Opting for the Terrafire once again. But then you have this like really strong fast mode, right? You have this Scarf Basculegion with Terra Blast, Terra Fighting to help with King Gambit, presumably. And then you also have this Life Orb Moonblast Ninetales. There's just such a lack of fairy coverage that, honestly, this kind of works. It's kind of good. I kind of fuck with the Alolan Ninetales with Moonblast and Encore here. Moonblast is such a strong move. Having, like, it's just the greatest move in the game, but there's just nothing that can use it. So putting it on this fast Ninetales, it's sick. I stand by it. And then just a normal stellar focused Sash Sneasler, which is something we don't see a lot of nowadays. So kind of a crazy set. As dumb as that may sound, it's kind of a crazy set because we didn't see it. There's so much acrobatics. So cool. Yeah, pretty simple team. You set up King Gambit, and then you just have really strong, fast Pokemon. Like, I mean, these three are so fast, right? And you have priority spam, so like you kind of just you're just always kind of moving first, right? You transcend, speed, control, sucker punch, and glide, and then you just have the fastest guys in the game and double fake out. It's just very much like a setup team, but then you have strong Pokemon that can round it out. And I think a couple of the cool choices he made was Burning Jealousy is really cool because Dragonite can never scale shot in front of you, otherwise it risks getting burned. And sometimes that's the only move they have. And then Taunt is really, really powerful as well because this team is kind of weak to Amoonguss. I think this team is very cool. Next up is a Juan Salerno here. Went 11-0. The only loss that they took was to the finalist team. So we've got that team we talked about over and over again, but instead of Ninetales, we have this Tailwind Haze Scale Shot Dragonite, which I think is a good choice. I think it's cool. Like, we saw this do well, I believe, last weekend as well. I believe he got top 4. If I'm not mistaken. I know I did. You can go check out my other video to prove me right. But yeah, this team is just really solid. The Dragonite's a weird choice, but it kind of functions similarly to Ninetales, right? Like, you're kind of just using the best Pokemon in the game, but instead of Ninetales and Weather Control, you just have Dragonite, who's also a fearsome, really strong Pokemon. It's just that you lack a little bit more special damage, which is okay. You still have 2. But you get that consistent Tailwind, you get Scale Shot to do lots of damage. So I think the payoffs are kind of worth it. Like, I think Dragonite is cool. It's just kind of a different team. I feel like it must function a little bit differently. But yeah, otherwise you still have that classic Fake Out plus setup guys, right? You can set up either one. And you still have that Yuan Blood Moon. So Juan Salerno flew all the way from Latin America to participate in this regional and gets the top 4, gets his money back, and gets out of there. A clean performance from him. And then the finals, we have the same team for the, I think we have the same team. Is everything the same? I'm just looking really quick. I think it is, yeah. So, this team kind of came out, well, not came out of nowhere, but like this team has been slowly building and it's been kind of known, and it is, I think, something very similar to it won the regional in Latin America like 2 weeks ago, or maybe 3 when Milwaukee happened, and it's just kind of been, I think we've been waiting for this team to like pop off, and it finally did. Volcarona paired with the Grassy Seed, Rilla, and Incin is just absolutely disgusting. So it's basically like the team we talked about earlier, right? Where is it? This one. It's very similar to this, but instead of the Gholdengo, they opt for a Ninetales. Not Ninetales. They opt for a Volcarona. And then they ultimately replace the Sneasler as well for this Basculegion. You still keep the speed, but you just have more of a consistent, just like upfront damage instead of having to set up a Sneasler. This team is just so gross, dude. It's so gross because you have this crazy Volcarona that wants to set up, do big damage, but then you also have to deal with the Scarf Basculegion that can be led with it, or you can lead either of these guys, pivot into the other one, and then, like, if you lead with Incin and then Parting Shot and Quiver Dance, right, now you get a defense boost with the Grassy Seed, and you've intimidated them. So you just create this huge change, right? Like, there's just a huge shift in momentum. There's so much defense at play, which is Volcarona's biggest weakness. So being able to instantly proc your seed and intimidate them is absurd for Volcarona. So physical Pokemon don't really work, but then it's setting up Quiver Dance, so special Pokemon don't really work in a Volcarona. It just makes it into this insane juggernaut that basically has an Omni boost after one Quiver Dance, right? You get defense, special attack, special defense, and speed all in one Pokemon. On paper, it seems broken, and at the tournament, it looked broken. It really didn't lose. It's obviously double finals. It literally had to lose to itself in finals to stop this team. So it's absurd right now. It's very, very strong. This is the team to beat. I think it's a really good, smart adjustment as well. I think this is like a good matchup into the mirror while still playing like the Pokemon that make this team strong, right? The Blood Moon, the Ninetales, the Incin, right? Incin Rillaboom is what makes this team strong. And then you just have setup Pokemon. So instead of having that Gholdengo Sneasler, you have Volcarona this time. And you have more immediate damage. So I think it's a really cool team. The stats aren't too crazy except for the Encore disabled Ninetales. That's sick, right? It makes a lot of sense with a Pokemon like Volcarona, who's just trying to set up and pop off. Being able to Encore disable something and just completely lock it out of the game, it's just you just lose, right? You have to deal with the Pokemon like it's the Omni Boost, and then you have to deal with the Pokemon that will Encore disable you, so you can't play the game. It's just such a crazy team. It just seems so frustrating to play. And shout out to both these players, CNV and Theotime, for you both opting to pick it and performing incredibly well. I think it's a really, really good team, and it's gonna be something, if you're going to the last couple of regionals of Reg H, you're gonna have to be able to beat it. And now next up, we're gonna take a look at the top 4 from Australia. First up, we got Joji's team. Very comfortable with this team. I know this team pretty well. This is the most fair team in the format, in my opinion. Like, it's just literally like Incineroar, Ursaluna P2, just like balance, right? Like, you have this Gholdengo that can set up, you have tail room, so it's really obnoxious to deal with. Yeah, it's just a really good, solid team. Some really cool choices here. The Terra Fairy Bear is interesting. I think it's pretty smart. I did use it myself a little bit. I use the team in Milwaukee. And one of the things I noticed about Terra Fairy Bear is it does make your King Gambit matchup a lot better. And King Gambit can be very annoying, so I respect it. But Ghost just gives you that fake out immune, which can be very, very valuable too. I think there's trade-offs, but obviously Joji opting to run Terra Fairy. And then we're going to see Terra Ghost on the Assault Vest Incineroar. AV Incin is fire right now. It's been good. I used it at Milwaukee. I fucking love it, and I think it's so good. But opting for the AV here makes a lot of sense. I think I ran AV. I think it's so good. Terra Ghost is fine. I ran Grass. But yeah, otherwise, pretty good, solid team. It gives you lots of options. We'll talk about it a little bit more. Oh, that was Joji. He wasn't even in the top 8. I misclicked that one. Oops, my bad. Well, we looked at the top 5. So this is top 4. This is actually, this is a cool one. This is like a hybrid of like, wait, no, this isn't a hybrid of anything. This is just a boring team. I don't know what I'm talking about. I thought the Grassy Seed was on Gholdengo, in my defense. This is just a boring team. But yeah, once again, we're seeing this team, top 4. Once again, it's just still good. It just doesn't lose. It's so strong. It gives you all the options you want. This is just like the best team in the format. I think this is like, we're approaching like Rinya Sun levels of dominance here. This team just keeps performing. Like, if it just wins Las Vegas or it wins LAIC, it's just like, it's in the conversation for one of the best teams of all time in like 2 months, right? Like, it just straight up is. Like, if we kept playing Reg H for the rest of time, I think this team truly could become like the only team we see. It's that good. We see Nicholas Khan. Okay, Nick, what do you got? Okay, opting to just run the most standard version of this team. I respect it. We got Beat Up Mouse. We got Super Fang plus the boys. This is just the bread and butter scene team. Opting to run the most standard team in the format like a while ago, but it's definitely become a little dated and people aren't using it as much, which means that maybe, it comes back in and it's kind of still underprepared for, under-respected, and Nicholas Khan pops off, takes himself to that top 4. Yeah, this team is just so good. You just have so much setup for days, and the mouse enables all of them, Rillaboom enables the setup, and this guy gives you Tailwind. It's just so good. Next up, we have Yuya Tada, who used a very weird team here. We got Mental Herb Giraffe, Banded Basculegion, Tail and Pelipper. Like, these 3 are normal, and then you just have like Cine, Ursaluna, or Giraffe. Like, I just really, what is the draft doing there? Because like, this is like the standard, like close to the Rizabeth version, but we'd have regular Ursaluna and D-Knight here, but instead we have like this Trick Room option, right, with these guys. It's such an absurd team. Draft is cool. I mean, like, pairing it with Basculegion is really scary, especially with Helping Hand. Stopping Fake Outs is strong, right? Like, that's just kind of the thing. This guy's always pretty good. Just a weird take on Rain. And then the team that won here from Ubis, one of the greatest players of all time. I guess the greatest player of all time is pretty crazy. I just think Ubis is so broken and so good at the game. So it's cool to see Ubis win a regional here, get his Worlds qualification, because I feel like he was screwed over by the Japanese system 2 years in a row, and he wasn't able to attend Worlds either year. But he finally did it. He wins a regional, early in the season, gets his invite. One of the greatest builders here, opting to run one of the most standard teams, but with a little bit of spice, right? We see that Terra Fairy Ursaluna once again, which I think is cool, but then we see this a Guave Berry Terra Water Gholdengo. Terra Water's not too crazy, but a Guave Berry is. Absolutely crazy stuff from Ubis. He topped the ladder with it, because this is a team I'm interested in. I love this team. It's so fun. And I had gotten words from my contacts that a Guave Berry Terra Water Gholdengo was on top of the ladder on the team that I like. So I was like, what the fuck? What is a Guave Berry for? And I was like, whatever. It's just ladder, right? But no. It won the region. It's good. I think it's just general bulk, right? You just run a much bulkier Gholdengo. You probably take Shadow Balls better. You just want to set up and just trade back because you're slower and stronger. And they're taking the Life Orb chip, and they still can't kill you. So opting to run this really, really bulky Gholdengo with a Guave Berry, yeah, it's pretty cool. Nothing too wild here. I think otherwise, everything else is pretty standard, pretty good. Avians, and once again, which I think is really important to this team. I think it makes the team broken. But yeah, just overall, really, really solid team here, and a solid run from Ubis locking up his World Championships. Moving forward, I don't know where we're gonna go. I think this team's gonna be good. I think the Lele team's gonna be good. It's just kind of like, I think this format is just pick your favorite team. Like we're seeing it with Marco and Fede. We're seeing it with Mikkel here, who's just running the team he's been running the entire time. We're seeing the Lele team pop off. We're seeing this new team kind of emerge as a champion. And then in Brisbane, it's kind of the same thing. It's just play with your comfort, right? Play with your comfort. There's not really like a call anymore. It's just pure comfort in this format, and that's just kind of how it is. All these teams look extremely good and they're doing extremely well. But I do think the team that did win Gdańsk is very, very good. It's something you're going to have to be prepared for, because I think this team could be the team to beat now. I feel like it seems like it's a little bit better than the Lele team, but at the same time, I think one of them did even lose to the Lele team. So this format is it's just starting to really drag, and like, I'm curious to see where it will go, because this team is just too fucking good. Ignore this, though. Ignore that. This team is so good, and I don't think it's going anywhere. I'm curious to see. I'm almost just curious to see if this team could just win LAIC. Like, that's what I want to know. Is this team going to win the final Reg Age tournament, or will we see something a little spicy? We'll have to see. We've got LAIC, we've got Las Vegas left. I don't know if there's a European regional, but either way, we'll see. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.